ED has arrested Partha Chatterjee in the money laundering case linked to the alleged SSC recruitment scam. This development comes hours after 20 crore rupees in cash were recovered from one of his aides. Let me go across to Arvind for more details. Arvind, what else are you picking up from your ED sources at the moment?
Maha, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee in connection with the recruitment scam in the government-run schools in Bengal. So, the Calcutta High Court had ordered CBI to probe the alleged irregularities in the recruitment of both teaching and also non-teaching staff in the government-run schools. At that particular point of time, Partha Chatterjee was the Education Minister of West Bengal government. So, after CBI took over the investigation, the Enforcement Directorate, also taking cognizance of CBI's FIR, initiated a money laundering probe. And yesterday, the agency conducted searches at around 12 locations in and around Kolkata. That also includes the residential premises of Partha Chatterjee and also his known associates. So, during the search of one such premises, Arpita Chatterjee, who, according to the agency, is a close associate of Partha Chatterjee, the agency has recovered somewhere around 20 crore in cash and also other valuable items. So during the questioning, the agency got to know this particular cash of 20 crore is directly linked to Partha Chatterjee, and that's why the agency questioned Partha Chatterjee. And as per our sources in the agency, Partha Chatterjee did not cooperate with the investigation, and that's why the agency has decided to arrest him. So he was placed under arrest early this morning, that's somewhere around 9:30 to 10 a.m., and after which he has been now taken to the Enforcement Directorate office where the agency wants to grill him more. Also, very importantly, what we are being told is that the agency wants to produce him before the competent court, wherein they want to take him under further custody. And also, agency is also planning to arrest Arpita Chatterjee because, as we speak, she is being questioned as of this moment. The agency has not yet arrested, but our sources say that she will also be placed under arrest because the agency wants to confront both of them, because the source of this 20 crore that has been seized from Arpita Chatterjee, the agency wants a clear picture, because some of the money that the agency seized were in the envelope the envelope in which it was written West Bengal Education Department. So that's why the agency is saying that there is something that is directly linking with this case and this 20 crore that has been seized from Arpita Chatterjee. That's why the agency wants to confront both of them during the custodial interrogation.
All right. Arvind, can you give us some more details about the twists and the turns and the investigation into the SSC recruitment scam so far?
Maha, the Calcutta High Court ordered this probe into this alleged irregularities in the recruitment of both teaching and non-teaching staff in the government-run schools between the grade of 9 to 12. That's the prima facie allegation. So, after the Calcutta High Court ordered CBI probe, CBI did question Partha Chatterjee, because Partha Chatterjee was the then Education Minister in the West Bengal government, and also one more minister is also under the radar of both agencies, that is Adhikari. According to the agency sources, that Adhikari, he also influenced, and then he made some of his own close relatives appointments, gave appointments in the education department. That's also being told by the agency. But when it comes to this particular very case of SSC recruitment scam, wherein alleged irregularities in the recruitment of teaching and non-teaching staff in the class grade of 9 to 12, the agency sources say that money were exchanged. There were conduits who got money on behalf of the aspiring candidates, and then the money was directly sent to the political executives, and that's why the agency is saying that there is a clear link that has emerged that directly connects to Partha Chatterjee, because the money has been trapped. The money has reached his hands also. That's why agency wants to take him into custodial interrogation.
Also, very quickly, Arvind, I want to know from you that yesterday the ED had said that they are taking the help of counting machines to be able to figure out this vast amount of cash that they have laid their hands upon now during the searches. That process must be on at the moment. Also, how is the ED at the moment certain that these are proceeds of the crime which we are talking about, the SSC recruitment scam?
Yeah, Maha, the counting of the recovered or seized cash is almost over. It has come to somewhere around 20 crore. That has been completed and that has been accounted for. So regarding the link, that how the agency is saying that this is proceeds of crime directly linked to the SSC case, because like I mentioned earlier, some of the cash that were kept in bundles, those were kept in the envelope, and on top of that, it was written that it's written that West Bengal Education Department. So that's why the agency is saying that, because those bundles were neatly packed, and on top of that, it was written with the Education Department, West Bengal Education Department, something like that. And that's why the agency is saying that because all those appointments were done in lieu of cash as bribe. So all these bundles, according to the agency officials, as per their preliminary investigation, is this proceeds of crime. That all these political executives and the officials, they made appointments by taking bribe, and those bribes were sent as per commission from down to bottom. And when it came to bottom, it was packed in bundles as per the location, as per the localities, and then it was neatly packed. That's why the agency sources are saying that their preliminary investigation reveals that this particular 20 crore is proceeds of crime directly linked to this SSC recruitment case.
All right, Arvind May, thanks for joining us with those details. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you as this big cash stash has been unearthed by the Enforcement Directorate. They are saying that it's directly linked to the SSC recruitment scam. Partha Chatterjee has been arrested as well. As Arvind is pointing out, the ED felt that he was not answering the questions that they wanted answered directly, and therefore they took him under arrest as well. Let me now go across to our two guests who are joining us here on the show. We have Tausif Khan. He's a Trinamool Congress supporter and political analyst. We also have with us Alok Vats, leader of the BJP. Tausif, coming first to you. A huge setback, an embarrassment there for Trinamool Congress after the recovery of this huge amount of money, which the ED is saying is directly linked to the SSC scam. What are we, going to hear from the party now?
My party will issue a statement in due course, as one of the national spokesperson of Trinamool has already tweeted on this, that the money that is recovered from an individual, a person named Arpita's house. That is the claim of ED, that the money is recovered from her house. So where the money came from is to be answered by that particular individual. The reason why ED is linking this with the party has to be ascertained. If what materials they have, it has to be checked. But Trinamool Congress as a party has no connection with the money which is recovered, because it was recovered from one individual.
But Tausif, this money has been recovered from an aide of one of the ministers of the Trinamool Congress. How is the Trinamool Congress then very easily delinking itself from this entire episode?
No, you see, a minister or even a local leader, as part of a social programs, they attend to various ceremonies, very social programs, at least dozens of programs every day. And there you have lots of people on the stage, and you share stage with them and pictures are clicked. But just because an individual was standing with the minister, the picture is available on the internet, does not mean that there is a link between them with regard to the money. Where the money came from is to be...
Tausif, so basically what you're saying is that Ankita Mukherjee has no link to Partha Chatterjee. Is that what the party line is at the moment?
As regards as the money is concerned, and so as regards the official statement, that will be made in due course of time.
All right. Alok Vats, I want to come to you. At the moment, as you heard Tausif, he's saying that just because a person has been clicked alongside a minister doesn't mean that person becomes the minister's close aide. So the attempt here is to de-link these two entities, Partha Chatterjee from Ankita Mukherjee, from whose residence this amount has been recovered. Is that an argument that anybody else would buy, the BJP would buy?
No, nobody would buy this argument. This is just a face-saving device trying to cover up that the minister goes for various programs and somebody has clicked photograph. But what about the envelope on which it has been written, that education department? So how does that not confirm that this money came from the education department bungling? It is very evident and very clear. 2 and 2 is 4. He is trying to make 2 and 2 5. Very, very evidently clear that this money was bundled from education department on the recruitment of teachers and non-teaching staff. And besides that, besides Partha Chatterjee, the other gentleman, Paresh Chandra Adhikari, he has on record recruited 10 of his own family members and various others by taking money. So where is the question? See, under The High Court deemed it fit. Only then they said, please go ahead with this inquiry. So everybody knows that there is something fishy has happened.
So
Tausif,
Alok Vats is saying that the Trinamool Congress is answerable because in this case it's not just about the link between Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee, but this is also a question about more evidence emerging, which he says is in the form of envelopes on which it was mentioned that this is for the education department. So there is mounting evidence, Tausif. How does the Trinamool Congress now battle this out politically?
The evidence or the argument of BJP, they're saying that this is linked with the alleged recruitment scam. The alleged recruitment scam which took place, 5-6 years ago. So even a prudent man would know why anyone who would collect, if for the purpose of argument we accept that okay, the money was collected 6-7 years ago, why anyone would keep that cash in home, in his or her home, or in aide's home after 5-6 years? I mean, it's just absurd. The investigation is going on. The honorable minister is participating in the investigation, and law will take its own course. But let me just remind the BJP spokesperson, not very long ago, one murderer in Udaipur, his picture also alongside the BJP top leader, including the Home Minister, was available on the internet. Should we then arrest the Home Minister and say that the Home Minister had sent that person to make that killing, to do that killing in Udaipur? What is the logic behind that? When you have a public figure attending various social ceremony, there will be people around you. So the law is very clear on this. The person from whom the money is recovered is the only person who will explain where the money came from.
All right.
That person may be in association with hundreds of others.
That person in this case is Arpita Mukherjee. She will have to do the explanation, not the minister. You're also saying that, why would anybody keep the cash with them, or an envelope which is an incriminating evidence which has the words Education Department written on it. All those points we'll take with Alok Vats in a bit, but let me quickly point out that the pictures we were seeing just a short while back, these were the latest pictures that have in fact come in of the arrest of Partha Chatterjee, TMC minister, who has been arrested now after mounting evidence that the Enforcement Directorate believes against him in the SSC recruitment scam. 20 crores of cash were recovered from what they say was a close aide of Partha Chatterjee, Arpita Mukherjee. Alok, what's coming to you? Tausif is saying that this is merely a political, a reason that the BJP is using politically to corner the Trinamool Congress. Nobody would keep incriminating evidence like envelopes which are marked Education Department, or so much of money when they already knew that this matter is under the scanner and being investigated.
Let me tell you one thing. That Tausif is trying to whitewash the whole thing. He is linking it with Udaipur, where the man was photographed with the minister. It has nothing to do with, you see, such things happen when in a mob, anybody can come and click a photo with a minister. But here is the evidence that the envelopes, it is confirmed that she was a close aide of Partha Chatterjee. This is known evidently to each and every person in West Bengal, that she was a close aide of him. And secondly, who has written this, that this money was from the Education Department? Did somebody from outside go and write it there? What nonsense he is talking? He is just trying to eyewash. He should admit that
what is being questioned, Alok, what's here is that when one knows that the matter is under investigation, it's such a huge scam that the minister himself was under the scanner, then why would incriminating evidence be kept at the place where so much money is stashed, with envelopes which have written on it Education Department? This is a clear giveaway, is what they are saying. Why would anybody proceed on a crime in this manner?
They never thought that the ED would lay hands on Arpita Chatterjee also. And there were other 14 places where the raids had taken place. So they must have thought that, okay, maybe it will come to Partha Chatterjee and Ramesh Chandra Adhikari, but others, sometimes you make mistake. It's a mistake that they did not remove that cash from there. And now it's a huge amount. 2-4 lakh, 10 lakh ki baat nahi hai. 20 crores. It's a huge sum. I don't know whether it has been counted or just, I think it must have been counted, and only then they are saying this 20 crore.
Yes, I believe, as the Enforcement Directorate has pointed out by way of sources telling the media that the counting is pretty much over. They use some counting machines to be able to count exactly that cash that was stashed, and it comes to somewhere around 20 crores. That's correct. Let me now quickly thank both our guests here, Tausif as well as Alok Vats. All right, Alok Vats wants to make one point. Go ahead.
Right from the beginning, we have been saying this, that under Mr. Narendra Modi, nobody in India who has played with the state exchequer money will be spared sooner or later. Whosoever is involved in any such nefarious activity will be booked and brought under the book.
All right.
And this is what is happening.
Okay. All right. I think Tausif also wants to make a point. Go ahead, Tausif.
It's a hollow claim that nobody under Modi will be spared involved in corruption. In fact, it's the Modi government who has failed to do anything about the people like Malya and Lalit Modi who's enjoying a lavish life after looting country of crores and crores of rupees, after robbing banks of crores and crores of rupees. And this Modi government has continued to waive loans of industrialists like Adani and DHL and so many others. There's a long list. And he's talking about Modi ji as the protector of government exchequer money. No, you are wrong. The hollow claim, please show it by action that yes, the promise of black money Modi ji has kept. Vijay Mallya and Lalit Modi and Mehul Choksi, all of them is inside Tihar jail, and the money is recovered from them. If you can prove that, then yes, we will believe that Modi ji has kept his promise. Otherwise, it's only politics and hollow fake promises and jumla of BJP.
All right. I think both of you gentlemen have made your point. Alok Vats, I think you've made your point already. We'll have to wind up this discussion here. Many thanks to both of you for joining us with your perspective on this big recovery of money that the Enforcement Directorate has made of 20 crores cash. They are saying this is directly linked to the SSC recruitment scam. Now, the Enforcement Directorate is likely to bring Partha Chatterjee to Delhi. These are the details coming in at the moment. Saurav Gupta is joining us with more details. Saurav, give us more information that you're picking up.
Well, as of now, what we're hearing is that following the arrest, there is a possibility that the Enforcement Directorate, the agency that has arrested Partha Chatterjee, a central agency, that Mamata Banerjee has accused of being misused by the BJP, may take him to Delhi. This is something that we're picking up at this point on a transit remand. Why that is happening is not yet clear, because the agency does have an office in Kolkata as well, and has all the facilities in Kolkata as well. So, for what purpose they may take him to Delhi, those sources are indicating at this point that they may take him to Delhi on a transit remand, is not yet clear. But yes, this is an ongoing investigation, and during this investigation, of course, there were pictures also shared by the Enforcement Directorate, allegedly linked to the raids it carried out. That's what the Enforcement Directorate claims. But on the other hand, you have the TMC also accusing the Enforcement Directorate of being, a pawns in the hand of the BJP. In fact, Mamata Banerjee just, a couple of days ago at that massive rally on 21st July in Kolkata, day before yesterday, hit out at the ED for, acting at the behest of the BJP. So the ED, of course, says this is an ongoing investigation. They've been investigating for a while, and based on credible information, they did carry out these raids and recovered money, being given to understand to the tune of around 20 crores is what the ED is claiming. Meanwhile, the TMC alleging that the ED is only indulging in politics at the behest of the BJP.
That's right.
And, acting at the behest of the BJP. All
right, Saurav, also you are saying at the moment it's not clear as to why the Enforcement Directorate would like to bring Partha Chatterjee to Delhi. But could it also be perhaps because, and I'm just looking at the possibility of various reasons that they feel investigations could be hampered in West Bengal. Has any such indication been given?
Well, I mean, it's not clear. For example, in why they may take him to Delhi is unclear, and they haven't really shared a reason, because there is no reason for any investigation to be hampered, given the fact that, if the investigation is taking place in Bengal, they'd most likely, need him in Bengal itself. And, the other, the raids that they've conducted are all in Bengal. So why they need to take him to Delhi is not yet clear. Previously also, people arrested by agencies, central agencies especially, have been taken out of the state. In one occasion to Odisha as well, as far as I can remember. So yes, there is a possibility that they may take him to Delhi, is what we
right, Saurav. So basically what Saurav is pointing out is that at the moment it isn't clear why Partha Chatterjee is being taken from Bengal to Delhi. However, that is the latest that is being picked up from the Enforcement Directorate sources. Let's quickly now listen in to what Arvind Gunashekhar had sent us by way of his report on the latest arrest that has been made in this case.
The Enforcement Directorate has arrested West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee in connection with the recruitment scam in the government-run schools in Bengal. So, the Calcutta High Court had ordered CBI to probe the alleged irregularities in the recruitment of both teaching and also non-teaching staff in the government-run schools. At that particular point of time, Partha Chatterjee was the Education Minister of West Bengal government. So, after CBI took over the investigation, the Enforcement Directorate, also taking cognizance of CBI's FIR, initiated a money laundering probe. And yesterday, the agency conducted searches at around 12 locations in and around Kolkata. That also includes the residential premises of Partha Chatterjee and also his known associates. So, during the search of one such premises, Arpita Chatterjee, who is, according to the agency, is a close associate of Partha Chatterjee, the agency has recovered somewhere around 20 crore in cash and also other valuable items. So during the questioning, the agency got to know this particular cash of 20 crore is directly linked to Partha Chatterjee, and that's why the agency questioned Partha Chatterjee. And as per our sources in the agency, Partha Chatterjee did not cooperate with the investigation, and that's why the agency has decided to arrest him. So he was placed under arrest early this morning, that's somewhere around 9:30 to 10 a.m. and after which he has been now taken to the Enforcement Directorate office, where the agency wants to grill him more. Also, very importantly, what we are being told is that the agency wants to produce him before the competent court, wherein they want to take him into further custody, and also agency is also planning to arrest Arpita Chatterjee, because as we speak, she is being questioned as of this moment. The agency has not yet arrested, but our sources say that she will also be placed under arrest because the agency wants to confront both of them, because the source of this 20 crore that has been seized from Arpita Chatterjee, the agency wants a clear picture, because some of the money that the agency seized were in the envelope the envelope in which it was written West Bengal Education Department. So that's why the agency is saying that there is something that is directly linking with this case and this 20 crore that has been seized from Arpita Chatterjee. That's why the agency wants to confront both of them during the custodial interrogation.